The encounter. Dr. Olivia Winters pulled her jacket tighter as the cold ocean breeze swept across the deserted beach. Early morning research expeditions were lonely but peaceful. The tide had receded, leaving behind tide pools full of fascinating specimens for her marine biology study. She walked along the shoreline, taking notes on her tablet when something unusual caught her eye. About 50 yards ahead, something was glimmering in the early morning light. It wasn't sea glass or a piece of trash. The object pulsed with a faint blue glow. "What on earth?" Olivia muttered, quickening her pace. As she got closer, she gasped. It was unlike anything she'd ever seen before. The creature, if it was a creature, was about the size of a small cat, with no discernible features. Its body was semi-transparent and shifted between deep blues and purples. When Olivia's shadow fell across it, the creature trembled and turned a pale yellow. She crouched down, careful not to make sudden movements. The creature seemed to be breathing, its amorphous body expanding and contracting slowly. It appeared weak, possibly injured. "Hey there, little one," she whispered. "What are you?" The creature's surface rippled at the sound of her voice. Tiny sparks of electricity danced across its skin. Olivia took out her phone and dialed her colleague. "Ellen, it's me. You need to come to Crescent Beach right now. I found something unusual." "Define unusual." Dr. Alan Murphy's voice crackled through the speaker. "I can't. You wouldn't believe me if I tried. Just bring the portable containment unit." Within 30 minutes, Alan's battered pickup truck rolled onto the beach access road. He jogged toward Olivia, carrying a clear container designed for transporting delicate marine specimens. "This better be good." "I was in the middle of." Alan stopped mid-sentence when he saw the creature. "Holy." "I know," Olivia said. "It's not like anything in our database." The creature had weakened further, its glow dimming. The colors now shifted sluggishly between dark purple and black. "We should call someone," Alan said, keeping his distance. "Government, maybe. This could be dangerous." "It's dying, Alan. We don't have time for bureaucracy." "Olivia, we have no idea what this is. For all we know, it could be toxic or invasive." She ignored him and gently scooped the creature into the containment unit. It felt surprisingly warm, like holding a living hot spring. The creature pulsed once brightly as she transferred it, then settled into a steady, dull glow. "I'm taking it back to the lab. At least we can run some basic tests, maybe figure out how to help it." Ellen looked skeptical. "This isn't a stranded dolphin or an injured sea turtle. This is something else entirely. All the more reason to study it," Olivia said firmly. "If it's new to science, we have a responsibility to learn about it." Back at the Coastal Research Center, Olivia placed the containment unit under a specialized lamp that mimicked natural sunlight. The creature responded immediately, its colors brightening to a vibrant turquoise. "It's photosensitive," she noted, recording her observations. "Possibly photosynthetic." For hours, she monitored the mysterious being. It slowly regained strength, moving more fluidly within its container. When she played classical music over the lab speakers, it pulsated in rhythm with the melodies. What Olivia couldn't know was that she had just brought home the most feared entity in the galaxy. Across thousands of light years, the being called Nexus had consumed entire star systems, leaving civilizations in ruin. After a desperate battle, a coalition of advanced species had managed to injure it and send it hurtling through space toward a backwater solar system. Now, weakened and transformed, the cosmic terror had found sanctuary with the one species that didn't know to fear it. And somewhere in deep space, alarms were already sounding. After 2 weeks of observation, Olivia had grown attached to the strange creature she now called Spark. The name came naturally after she discovered it emitted tiny electric pulses when she touched the containment glass with her fingertips. "Your readings are unlike anything I've ever seen," Olivia said one evening as she reviewed data on her computer. Spark pulsed bright blue in response, almost as if it understood. The creature had nearly doubled in size since she found it. Its colors now shifted more deliberately, blues when calm, reds when the lab grew noisy, and a stunning gold when Olivia played Mozart through the speakers. Her colleague Alan remained skeptical. "We should report this to proper authorities," he insisted during his daily visits. "What if it's radioactive or carrying unknown pathogens?" "All tests show it's harmless," Olivia countered. "Besides, it's getting healthier. Look how it responds to stimuli now." Indeed, Spark had begun forming small appendages that resembled tentacles, which it used to interact with objects Olivia placed in its tank. It seemed particularly fond of a small crystal paperweight, often cradling it for hours. The most surprising visit came when Olivia's sister dropped off her son, Noah, for the afternoon. "Aunt Liv, what's that?" the 10-year-old asked, pressing his face against the glass tank. "That's Spark. He's a special research subject," Olivia explained carefully. To her amazement, Spark immediately flowed to Noah's side of the tank, turning a vibrant purple she had never seen before. The creature pressed itself against the glass, mirroring the outline of Noah's small hand. "He likes me," Noah exclaimed. "He sure does," Olivia said, watching in fascination. "That's a new color." Over the next few hours, Noah sat beside the tank, talking to Spark about school, his friends, and his favorite video games. The creature remained attentive, changing colors in apparent response to Noah's stories. After Noah left, Spark refused to eat for 2 days. It turned a dull gray and barely moved from the corner of its tank. "I think it's depressed," Olivia told Alan over the phone. "It hasn't been the same since Noah visited." "You're anthropomorphizing," Alan warned. "It's probably just a natural cycle for whatever species it is." But Olivia wasn't convinced. That weekend, she made a decision that would change everything. She carefully transferred Spark to a portable container and brought it home. Her coastal cottage, with its large windows and natural light, seemed to immediately improve Spark's condition. The creature glowed with intense colors as sunlight streamed through the glass. At night, it would pulse softly in time with the ocean waves outside. Olivia set up a larger tank in her living room, filled with seawater and small objects for Spark to interact with. It soon became clear that the creature was far more intelligent than she had initially believed. One evening, she found it had arranged pebbles to form a perfect spiral at the bottom of the tank. Another morning, it had somehow managed to open the lid and was exploring her bookshelf, leaving a slight luminous trail wherever it moved. When Noah came to visit again, their bond grew even stronger. The boy would lie on the floor beside the tank, reading books aloud, while Spark mimicked turning pages with its newly formed appendages. "Can I take him to school for show and tell?" Noah asked eagerly. "I don't think that's a good idea, sweetie," Olivia replied. "Spark is still our little secret for now." That night, as Olivia slept, Spark emitted a signal that traveled beyond Earth's atmosphere, a faint energy signature that would have gone undetected by human technology. But across the galaxy, highly sensitive equipment on a Confederation warship picked up the distinctive pattern. An officer rushed to the commander's quarters. "Sir, we found Nexus." The sleek silver ship of the Galactic Confederation entered Earth's orbit silently, using technology that rendered it invisible to human detection systems. On the command deck, Commander Drell studied the holographic display of the blue planet below. "Confirm location of target Nexus," he ordered, his four-fingered hand tightening around the command chair. Science Officer Zora consulted her instruments. "Energy signature localized to this coastal region," she said, highlighting a small area on the North American continent. "It appears to be inside a human dwelling." "Strange." "Strange indeed," Drell muttered. "The destroyer of 17 worlds, reduced to hiding in a primitive habitat." The crew had spent 3 solar cycles tracking the energy trail of the entity, known as Nexus, across this spiral arm of the galaxy. After its last devastating attack on the Centauri colonies, a desperate alliance had managed to wound the cosmic horror and drive it away. They never expected it would land on an unprotected world inhabited by a species with no knowledge of interstellar threats. Establish contact with their planetary authorities, Drell commanded. Protocol dictates we warn them before extraction. Within hours, NASA's deep space monitoring stations received an unexpected transmission. Clear, precise, and in perfect English, the message bypassed all security protocols. Attention Earth authorities. We come regarding the planet-killer entity currently harbored on your world. Immediate surrender of this being is required to prevent catastrophic consequences. The response was panic. Government officials scrambled to make sense of the message. Military bases went on high alert, and within 12 hours, 3 black SUVs pulled up outside Olivia's coastal cottage. Olivia was feeding Spark small pieces of quartz. It had shown a strange appetite for minerals. When the knock came at her door, Dr. Olivia Winters, a stern woman in a dark suit, stood on her porch, flanked by 2 military personnel. "I'm Agent Rita Morris. We need you to come with us immediately." "What's this about?" Olivia asked, instinctively blocking the doorway. "National security. We have reason to believe you're harboring an unidentified biological entity." Olivia's heart raced. "I'm conducting private research. You have no right." "We have every right," Agent Morris interrupted, producing a document. "This is a matter of planetary security now." As they argued, Noel slipped through the back door. He had been visiting for the weekend and overheard everything. Without hesitation, he went to Spark's tank. "We need to hide you," he whispered. The creature pulsed with anxious red colors. Noah opened his backpack and held it up to the tank. Remarkably, Spark seemed to understand. It flowed into the bag, condensing itself to fit. The backpack glowed faintly before settling. Meanwhile, the agents pushed past Olivia into the house. "Where is it?" Agent Morris demanded. "Where is what?" Olivia feigned confusion, noticing Noah's absence and hoping he had hidden. Outside, the sky darkened unnaturally. Residents of the small coastal town looked up to see clouds forming impossible patterns. At the local military base, radar operators watched in astonishment as an object the size of a cruise ship decloaked directly above their airspace. Commander Drell had lost patience. "If their authorities won't cooperate, we'll retrieve Nexus ourselves." At Olivia's house, the agents discovered the empty tank. "Where did you move it?" Agent Morris demanded, face flushing with anger. A military officer rushed in. "Ma'am, we have a situation. There's some kind of alien spacecraft hovering over the county now." In the growing chaos, no one noticed Noah slipping out through the back garden, his backpack pulsing with soft blue light. He pedaled his bike furiously away from the house, heading toward the woods where he and his friends had built a hidden fort. "Don't worry, Spark," he whispered to his backpack. "I won't let them take you." Inside the bag, the entity once feared across 17 star systems curled protectively around Noah's schoolbooks, emanating warmth against the boys' back as they fled. Noah's fort deep in the woods wasn't much, just some old boards nailed between 4 trees with a tarp for a roof, but it felt like the safest place in the world right now. 3 days had passed since he fled his aunt's house with Spark in his backpack. "They're still looking for us," Noah whispered, peering through a crack in the wooden wall. Distant flashlight beams swept through the trees as search parties combed the forest. He opened his backpack, and Spark flowed out, glowing a soft blue in the darkness. The creature had changed during their time on the run. It now had more defined appendages and could form simple shapes. When Noah was hungry, Spark would slip out at night and return with berries and edible plants. "How do you know which ones are safe to eat?" Noah had asked in amazement after the first night. In response, Spark had touched his forehead with a tendril. Noah gasped as images flashed through his mind. Plants, their properties, which were poisonous and which were nourishing. It wasn't quite words, but Noah understood perfectly. "You can talk to me this way," he'd asked excitedly. Spark had pulsed yellow, which Noah was beginning to recognize as yes. Now, as they huddled in their hideout, Noah tried to understand more about his strange companion. "Where did you come from?" he asked. Spark extended a tendril to his temple again. This time, Noah saw stars, vast and endless, and felt a hunger so intense it made him gasp. He saw planets glowing with energy and felt spark. No, something called Nexus, absorbing that energy, growing stronger. "You ate stars." Noah pulled back, suddenly afraid. Spark turned a sad shade of gray and retreated to the corner of the fort. Meanwhile, at the military command center that had been hastily established, Olivia paced anxiously as government officials argued with the alien delegates. "You don't understand what you're harboring," Commander Drell insisted. His translator device gave his words a metallic edge. "Nexus has consumed entire civilizations. It destroyed the Arcturus station in less than an hour." "It's just a small creature," Olivia protested. "It's shown no signs of aggression." Science officer Zara stepped forward, her 4 eyes blinking in sequence. "Nexus feeds on energy, any energy. It starts small, gains trust, then begins to consume technology, power sources, and eventually, if allowed to mature fully, stars themselves." The room fell silent. "My nephew is out there with it," Olivia said finally. "Please, let me find him first." Park Ranger Danny Fletcher had volunteered to help Olivia search. As someone who knew the local forests better than anyone, he was their best hope of finding Noah. "The boy's smart," Danny assured her as they hiked through the underbrush. "He built forts out here last summer. That's probably where he's headed." In the fort, Noah had fallen asleep, exhausted from days of hiding. He dreamed of stars and distant worlds. In his dreams, he saw Spark, much larger, more powerful, moving through space, consuming energy. But he also felt something else: loneliness. Spark had been alone for centuries, acting on instinct, never connecting with another being. He woke to find Spark hovering protectively over him. Outside, branches cracked as someone approached. "Noah?" Olivia's voice called softly. "Are you in there?" Before Noah could respond, Spark flowed in front of him, turning a defensive red. "It's okay," Noah whispered. "That's my aunt. She's good." The door to the fort creaked open. Olivia stood there with Danny, both looking relieved and terrified at the same time. "Noah, thank goodness," Olivia breathed. She froze when she saw Spark, now larger and more defined than when she'd last seen it. The creature hovered protectively between them. "It's okay," Noah said, standing up. "Spark isn't bad. It's just lost and scared." Before Olivia could respond, the forest lit up with blinding light from above. The alien ship had found them. "We have to go," Danny urged. "Now." But it was too late. Figures in protective suits emerged from the trees, surrounding the fort. Behind them came Commander Drell and his officers, weapons drawn. "Step away from the entity," ordered Drell. Noah stepped closer to Spark instead of backing away. The creature pulsed with angry red and orange colors, its form stretching upward defensively. "No," Noah said firmly. "Spark isn't dangerous. It's my friend." Commander Drell's translator device buzzed as he spoke. "That creature has destroyed 17 worlds, child. It does not have friends. It only has food sources." Olivia moved toward her nephew. "Noah, please. These beings have traveled across the galaxy to find this creature. They know more about it than we do." "They don't," Noah insisted. "They know what it was, not what it is now." Dark clouds gathered overhead, unnaturally fast. Thunder rumbled as lightning flashed between the trees. The sudden storm seemed to respond to the tension in the forest clearing. Science officer Zara checked her scanning device. "Commander, the entity is gathering energy from the atmosphere. It's preparing to attack." The alien soldiers raised their weapons, sleek devices that hummed with power. "Last warning," Commander Drell announced. "Surrender the entity. A blinding flash of lightning struck a tree just yards from the fort, splitting it in half. As the burning trunk toppled toward Noah, everything seemed to move in slow motion. Olivia screamed. Danny lunged forward, but knew he wouldn't reach the boy in time. Then Spark moved, faster than anyone could follow. It flowed between Noah and the falling tree, expanding its body. The massive trunk struck Spark instead of Noah. But instead of being crushed, Spark absorbed the impact. Its body glowed bright white, as it also absorbed the electrical energy from the lightning strike. The fallen tree seemed to dissolve where it touched Spark's form. "It's feeding," Drell shouted. "Fire now." "Wait!" Olivia cried out. The alien weapons powered up with a high-pitched whine, but before they could fire, Spark began to change. Its body pulsed with blinding light, forcing everyone to shield their eyes. The light condensed, contracted, and then expanded in rhythmic waves. Noah alone seemed able to look directly at Spark. Through their mental connection, he felt what was happening. Spark was undergoing a metamorphosis. "It's changing," Noah whispered in awe. "It's growing up." The transformation lasted less than a minute. When the light faded, Spark was no longer an amorphous blob. It had taken a more defined shape, something like a small manta ray with delicate translucent wings and a core that glowed with shifting colors. It hovered at eye level with Noah, its new form radiating soft light. Spark extended what looked like a tendril toward Noah's forehead. The boy didn't flinch as they connected. Through their mental link, Noah saw images more clear than ever before. A vast cosmos, Spark's species traveling between stars, feeding on natural energy without harming worlds. He saw how Spark was a juvenile, acting on hunger and instinct, not malice. He felt Spark's regret for the damage it had caused. "It was a baby," Noah said aloud, tears in his eyes. It didn't know what it was doing. Commander Drell lowered his weapon slightly, confused by this turn of events. "Impossible. Nexus is a cosmic destroyer, not a child." Noah turned to face the alien commander. "Its real name isn't Nexus. It's—" He paused, hearing the creature's true name in his mind, a sound impossible for human vocal cords to produce. It was just trying to survive. But it's learned. It's different now. Spark drifted toward Olivia and Danny, who still stood frozen in shock. It pulsed with gentle colors, blue, green, and purple, in a rhythm that somehow conveyed peace. Olivia, ever the scientist, was the first to recover. It protected Noah. A mindless destroyer wouldn't do that. As if to demonstrate its change, Spark rose higher and extended its wings. The storm clouds above began to disperse, the unnatural weather patterns normalizing. The creature was controlling the energy that it had gathered rather than using it destructively. Science Officer Zara studied her readings with 4 blinking eyes. "Commander, these energy patterns, they're nothing like the Nexus we've encountered before. This is controlled, purposeful." Before Commander Drell could respond, the sound of helicopters cut through the air. The Earth military had arrived. 3 military helicopters circled overhead, their spotlights cutting through the evening air. Soldiers in tactical gear poured from the trees, surrounding the clearing and training their weapons on both the aliens and Spark. A woman in a general's uniform stepped forward. "I'm General Julia Reeves, United States Armed Forces," she announced firmly. "Lower your weapons immediately." Commander Drell didn't budge. "This is beyond your authority, human. We're containing a threat you cannot comprehend. On my planet, pointing weapons at a child is a threat I comprehend perfectly," General Reeves countered. "Stand down." The tension in the air was thick enough to cut. 2 advanced species faced off, neither willing to back down, with Noah and Spark caught in the middle. "Please, don't hurt Spark," Noah pleaded. "It doesn't want to hurt anyone." As if responding to his words, Spark floated higher, its wings spreading wide. The creature began to pulse with light, creating complex patterns that reflected off the trees and the faces of everyone present. Science Officer Zora gasped. "Commander, Those are communication signals from the Arcturus system. Impossible, Drell hissed. Nexus destroyed Arcturus station. It can't be using their language. Yet the patterns continued, growing more complex. Spark was clearly trying to communicate. Olivia stepped forward cautiously. It's intelligent. It's trying to talk to us. Commander Drell's four-fingered hand tightened on his weapon. It's a trick. Nexus consumed worlds. It murdered billions. Was it murder or feeding? Danny asked suddenly. You said yourself it feeds on energy. Maybe it didn't understand the difference. Noah closed his eyes, still connected to Spark through their mental link. It's showing me. It was alone. It was hungry. It didn't know the stars had people living around them. General Reeves signaled to her soldiers to hold position but stay alert. If this creature is as dangerous as you claim, why hasn't it attacked? It's had plenty of opportunity. It's biding its time, Commander Drell insisted. Once it regains its full strength. He was interrupted when Spark suddenly dived toward him. Alien soldiers immediately fired energy weapons, but their shots passed harmlessly through Spark's now immaterial form. The creature stopped just inches from Drell's face, pulsing with bright, rapidly changing colors. Everyone froze, expecting destruction. Instead, Spark gently touched a tendril to Drell's temple, just as it had done with No. The commander's expression changed from fear to shock to wonder in the span of seconds. He stumbled backward when Spark released him. What did you see? Science Officer Zora asked urgently. Everything, Drell whispered, its entire existence. It was a child, acting on instinct. But it's changed, it's evolved. That's what I've been trying to tell you, Noah said. Spark isn't the same anymore. But not everyone was convinced. An alien soldier raised his weapon again. Commander, this could be mind control. We should neutralize the entity now. General Reeves immediately stepped forward. Fire on that creature, and my forces will consider it an act of war against Earth. You would protect this world killer, the soldier demanded. We protect our own, the general said firmly. And right now, that creature is with one of our children, causing no harm. The standoff intensified as both sides raised their weapons. Spark, sensing the mounting danger, rose high into the air. Its body began to glow brighter than ever before, illuminating the entire forest. Every electronic device in the area, weapons, communications equipment, even the helicopters hovering overhead, suddenly powered down. In the sudden silence, Spark's light took shape, forming three-dimensional images above them all. The images showed planets, stars, and civilizations, some thriving, others destroyed. They showed Spark's journey, its growth, and finally, its time with Noah. The message was clear. Spark had the power to disable all their technology with a thought, yet it chose communication instead. It could have destroyed us at any moment, Science Officer Zara realized. But it didn't. Drell lowered his weapon completely. Perhaps we have misjudged. As the last image faded, showing Noah and Spark side by side, the creature returned to hover protectively near the boy. So what happens now? Olivia asked, breaking the tense silence. The dawn broke over the forest clearing, illuminating the strange assembly of humans, aliens, and one cosmic entity. After a night of tense negotiations, all parties had agreed to continue their discussion in a more formal setting. Now they sat around a large conference table in a hastily prepared military facility. Noah insisted on staying close to Spark, who hovered beside him, wings gently pulsing with blue and green light. General Reeves spoke first. Let's establish some facts. This creature, Spark, as the boy calls it, has destroyed worlds in the past, but it appears to have changed. Commander Drell nodded reluctantly. Our record shows 17 worlds and 12 space stations were devastated as Nexus, as Spark moved through our galaxy. But what I saw in its mind was revealing. Tell them what you saw, Noah encouraged. Drell's translator device hummed as he chose his words carefully. I saw a juvenile life form acting on instinct, consuming energy to survive. It had no concept that the energy it fed on sustained other lives. It was a child that didn't know it was harming others. Spark pulsed gently, extending a tendril toward the center of the table. A projection appeared, three-dimensional and incredibly detailed, showing a small cluster of beings similar to Spark drifting between stars. Its species, Olivia whispered. They're natural energy converters. The projection changed, showing massive cosmic events, supernovas, black holes forming, gamma-ray bursts. After each cataclysm, Spark's species would arrive, absorbing the deadly radiation and converting it to usable energy for their own survival. They were cosmic cleaners, Science Officer Zora realized, evolving to process the most dangerous energies in the universe. So what happened? Danny asked. The projection changed again, showing a terrible war. Most of Spark's kind were destroyed by weapons remarkably similar to those the Confederation soldiers carried. We hunted them, Commander Drell admitted, his voice heavy, believing them to be destroyers when they were simply following their natural cycle. Spark is the last one, Noah said quietly. It was all alone until it found me. General Reeves leaned forward. The question remains, what do we do now? Spark's projection changed one final time, showing devastated planets slowly healing, their atmospheres and ecosystems being restored. The meaning was clear. It wants to help, Olivia said. It wants to repair the damage it caused. Commander Drell exchanged glances with Science Officer Zora. Such abilities would be unprecedented. The energy manipulation required to restore a damaged world. But possible, General Reeves pressed. Theoretically, Zora confirmed, with proper guidance. Noah stood up, looking more confident than any 10-year-old had a right to be in a room full of military and alien officials. Spark wants to stay with me. With us, on Earth. It can learn here. It can help your worlds too. He looked directly at Commander Drell. It's sorry for what it did before it understood. After hours more discussion, a historic agreement was reached. Spark would remain on Earth, legally registered as the adopted non-terrestrial companion of Noah Carson, with scientific oversight from Dr. Olivia Winters. In exchange, Spark would work with the Galactic Confederation several times a year to help restore damaged worlds. 6 months later, Olivia's coastal cottage had been transformed into the first official interspecies cultural exchange center. Scientists and diplomats from around the world, and increasingly from other worlds, came to study and learn from Spark. Noah sat on the beach, watching Spark dance above the waves. The creature had grown slightly larger, its wings now spanning 6 feet when fully extended. It could communicate much more clearly now, though it still preferred its special connection with Noah. They're coming back tomorrow, Noah said, skipping a stone across the water. Are you ready to go help that planet with the damaged atmosphere? Spark pulsed with confident yellow light. Yes. I'm proud of you, Noah said simply. Commander Drell, who had become a regular visitor and advocate for Spark, approached them on the beach. The restoration of the Proxima colony is proceeding better than expected, he reported. The Confederation Council has officially recognized Earth as having protected status, thanks to our unique arrangement. You mean thanks to my pet? Noah grinned. Drell's translator couldn't quite capture his expression, but it seemed like a smile. Yes, the universe's most feared creature became a human's pet. Who would have thought? Spark spun in the air playfully, sending cascades of harmless light in all directions. It wasn't a pet, of course. It was something far more, a bridge between species, a healer of worlds, and most importantly to Noah, a friend.